Okay, what's good, gang? I hope you're having a good day. We got our coffee. It's a beautiful day out today, and I just did something a little bit freaking crazy that I'm going to share with you. And I have a good story to share with you about fear, about your life, about the journey that you are going on, and I guess specifically about fear and how that is one of the best emotions that I think is underutilized in all of our lives. It's like growing up, we were taught that fear is something to fear, right? You know, things are scary, and the things that are scary in life you should avoid. But today, if you've never heard about this before, if you've never heard this idea, I think it's very interesting and will change your relationship with fear and the things that scare you in life, and I guess more specifically on your spiritual journey of life, of discovering yourself, discovering what you're supposed to be doing here, and how you can utilize fear and you can take more risks and grow so much as a person and achieve your goals, your dreams, whatever you want out of life, you can get it. Okay. So starting off, I think something very interesting is like what I said, how growing up we're taught that fear is something to almost avoid, something scary that you shouldn't do. But over the last few years, I have learned and I have taught myself that fear is one of the most just underutilized thing that you can use to just make yourself grow so much as a person in so many different ways. And I have so many different examples and some cool stories to share with you about how I did things that scare me and how they made me grow as a person. And as you're watching this video, I think you should look back to things in your life that maybe scared you, and when you did them, how did it go after you did something that scared you? And if you've been the person who sits there, it hasn't done anything with their life, or has turned down opportunities or things or moments because you were scared, I think this is going to shift your perspective on fear, and hopefully change the way that you think about it and the way that you move in life and the things that you do and the decisions that you make, right? So again, starting out, fear, we were taught that it's a bad thing. Let's sit there and put that to the side for a second and treat fear as an open thing that let's change the way that we look at it in our relationship with it. Okay, so starting out, I'm just gonna say it as it is. If everything that you want in fucking life, dude, is on the other side of what fucking scares you. And I'm just gonna start out with my best example, my favorite example of why I am here today, why I'm making these videos, why I'm even talking to you. When I was in high school, I had the idea. I was like, dude, I want to start a business. Like, this is in fact, I want to do my own thing. I want to make my own life. And this was long before I knew anything about spirituality. I was like, I want to do my own thing. And it started as an idea, and then it turned into act. And like right before it started to turn into action, dude. Oh my god, how fucking scary is that, dude? How scary is that to be the one to say, I am going to do my own thing. I'm going to go my own way in life. And I think the reason that's scary is and for all of you guys too, if you're watching this, you want to make real change in your life. You want to go down a different path. You want to do your own thing. And that's scary, dude. Why? Because you're going down an unknown path. You can't see what's in front of you. You can't see, so far ahead. And for most people in their life, dude, they go down a path that is almost paved for them, where they can see 10 steps ahead and they don't need to be scared of what's coming. And I think that's a life of just, I think it's boring. I mean, I did that for a while and I found it boring. There's nothing fun about that. There's no growth. And again, if you're watching this, you don't want to be like every other person. You want to make your own reality. You want to make real change in your life. You have big desires. You have big goals. You have big things that you want to achieve. And you have the idea, or maybe you already are stepping down that path of fear, stepping down that path where you can't see 10 steps ahead of you. So when I was in high school, I decided, dude, I don't want. I have an idea of what I do want, and I decided to walk down that path. And oh my god, guess what it was? It was fucking terrifying. Why? Because I had literally, dude, like every single person around me, from like my friends to my family, dude. I remember my aunt fucking when I told her I didn't want to go to college, dude. She told me I was gonna be working at Dairy Queen for the rest of my life. I managed to change her mind, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. Like, she supports me now and everything that I'm doing. It's really cool. But at the time, dude, everyone around me was like going to college, going to get a job. Just, I mean, in the most respectful way to them, just going down the path that everybody else goes down. And I was like, I don't want that. And so there I was by myself, having very few people like really genuinely supporting me in the things that I wanted to do. And I decided, dude, I'm gonna look this way and I'm gonna go down this path that I can't even fucking see. I don't know if this is gonna work. I have no idea how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And I think I have to share like my entire story of where I am now into some other thing. But I will give you the fucking long story short, dude. I for the last 3 or 4 years I've been going down the entrepreneurial path of starting my own businesses, of doing my own thing. I've tried so many different businesses, YouTube channels before this, like so many different things. And as I went down that path, dude, I will tell you, fear doesn't even. It is. I learn how to deal with it. I step into the fear. Yeah, sure, it's scary, but I step into it. I step down that path again, day and day again. I step down that path of fear, and the moment I made that decision for the first time, I found amazing things on the other side. And now that I'm, sitting here 3 or 4 years, I'm still so young, dude. Like, I have so much to go through in life. But I can tell you, from my short experience of what I have had and the success that I have had, any single time I stepped into fear, there was something magical and waiting for me on the other side of that. And over the last 3 or 4 years with my business, every single time I would like risk all my money to just make that next thing work. Whether it worked or didn't, dude, I learned something. And through all these things, every single time I stepped into fear, any single time I failed, I learned a lesson and I became a better person in my consciousness and my awareness and what I do want out of life and what I don't want out of life expanded. Why? Because I went down that other path and I decided to do something that scared me and I allowed growth into my life in a really fucking crazy way. And that's what I am trying to share with you, dude. Everything that you want out of life is on the other side of what scares you. Because guess what, dude? Going big, getting the things that you do want, whatever it may be, is scary. It is going down that 1% path. I mean, sit there, dude. Look to your idols. Look to every single person who has had success in some form of whatever it may be. Go sit there and look at their story. Every single one of them betted on themselves. Every single one of them took a risk and went down a path that at the time for them was probably fucking terrifying, right? So again, long story short, dude, after failed business, after putting it all on the line, putting myself on the line, taking a risk, not knowing how it was going to go. I still to this day, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen, but stepping into the fear 3 or 4 years later, dude, the world, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is still supporting me on this journey and pushing me farther and farther into becoming a better version of myself and creating real good change in the world. And what I did today, dude, I got a good story about fear that I'm gonna get to. But this is about you. This is about you conquering your fear. So I think whatever it may be in life, dude, it can be like your relationships, your family, going to ask out that girl for the first time, starting that business, going up to your boss and asking for a raise, applying for a job you don't think you're qualified for. Dude, it's scary. It's always going to be scary. And then ask yourself, what are the things that you do want out of life? And then sit there and ask yourself, why haven't I done it? Ooh, probably because you're scared. And guess what, dude? That's why I'm here today to tell you that whatever you want is on the other side of fear. And I think that's another big thing in fear is in trusting, and in trusting the world and trusting the universe and trusting God at first. That's a little bit scary, isn't it, right? Isn't that another thing of just fear, of sitting there going, you hear about all these like manifestation things, about people creating their own reality, about people changing their own lives. And you're just, fuck, dude, is everybody lying? No, this has to be fucking real. But then you go, but dude, if I sat there and I took the risk and I betted on myself, what is that? It is scary. It is scary to trust. But, like a trust fall with your friends or whatever, you fall back and guess what? You get caught. You get caught by the hand of God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. Because if you're doing something that is truly aligned to who you are as a person and what excites you and what breathes life into you, I can't speak, then dude, go for it. It's going to be scary, but the world is going to sit there. God is going to catch you in his hands, because that's how the world works. And I don't understand, I don't have an explanation to that, but that's how it works. And that's why you see all these videos on YouTube of people talking about manifestation or creating your own reality. And for some reason it works because there's, those are the laws of the universe, right? But anyways, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. And so for me, starting out, in social media too, like a lot of my business is posting on social media. At first, dude, all the fear of judgment. What is this person going to say? What is that person going to say? Oh no. All these different things of fear and ideas run through your mind. And you have to sit there and shut yourself up, dude. You have to sit there and be like, Who gives a fuck about anything, dude? This is a fun game. Why wouldn't I take a fucking risk when I have the opportunity to do it? And I think that's another thing, dude. Be grateful for the fact that you even have fear in the first place, dude. It's like, respectfully, 90% of people live their life so unconsciously and don't even have the idea to step out of line and do something different and create change. So the fact that you even have the idea, the fact that you even have the opportunity to go into that fear, to do that thing, how lucky are you, right? And how lucky am I, right? And again, I didn't even finish my story. Here I am so many years later, dude. I have a business that's working, it's making me money, and now I'm starting this YouTube channel too. And it's making it like so fulfilling to sit here and like talk to a camera, knowing that some people are going to be getting, you know, benefits out of it, and they're going to be able to create change in your life. Like, how cool is that, dude? I can talk to a phone and potentially help so many other people. Like, that's such an amazing, powerful thing, right? And at first, guess what it was? Scary. But now, dude, if you go on like my TikTok where I started talking about like these ideas so long ago, I like couldn't even speak. It was like difficult to even get words out and say what I'm saying. But now I can sit here and talk for like however long, just off the top of my head about these things because I have experienced them. And after stepping into that fear from the beginning, I have gotten better and better and better as a person. Why? Because I did the thing that scared me. How about that? Okay, cool. So hopefully you get the idea at this point. Everything that you want in life is on the other side of fear. And I think the thing about fear, I love this example. This is one of my favorite ones. When you go, if you've ever been like cliff jumping, I don't know, this is just my favorite example because I go cliff jumping a lot in the summer. Whenever I take somebody new for the first time, no matter how big the cliff is, like if they're scared and they go up to the cliff and they step over and they look over, and they're scared to do it and they're like sitting there deciding like, am I going to take the jump, am I not going to take the jump? For every single second that they wait to take that jump, they get more scared. And I'll tell you, dude, the person who sits there for 5 to 10 minutes and doesn't jump, they never do it. So let's think about that in your life and your goals and the things that you want to do. If you sit there and you wait for something else to push you off that cliff, if you wait for some other circumstances to come and change you, and you're not the one who's creating the change yourself, guess what, motherfucker? You are never going to jump. And then guess what, dude? When you finally get the fucking balls, or you fucking whatever, you finally get the courage to make that jump, dude. You hit the water. And oh, I'm okay. It worked. It does work, dude. That other person can jump in there, so can I. And of course, I think it's another good example, just like cliff jumping, dude. You don't jump into some random water not knowing if there's rocks in there, dude. I think you can take calculated risks in life to ensure that's a little bit better. Like in my business, I always had some kind of job or some kind of financial income to be able to make sure I wasn't going to be stressed out all the time when I took that risk. But even then, dude, I took that risk. I took whatever risk I could when it was scary, right? So I think if you can, be a little smart, take that calculated risk, it's going to be scary. And then you do it, and then you realize everything is okay, dude. And when you jump off the cliff for the first time, dude, you're like, oh, you feel good about yourself, dude. Why? Because you're growing as a person, and you're becoming better, and you're growing your consciousness, and you're growing your courage, right? Your courage to take more risks. And as more time goes on, I can tell you in my own life, dude, and what I did today, what I'm going to tell you, I'm getting there. I just have this feeling of like, I can take bigger risks and I can do bigger things and the world is going to support me in that because I'm doing what's true to me. And then fucking dude, let's just play the devil's advocate here. Maybe it doesn't all work out. Maybe you do fucking jump off the cliff and it hurts for a little bit, whatever, and you take a slam financially. You learn from that. Because if you can sit there and learn from your failures in life, failure doesn't exist, dude. If you don't give up and you can learn from whatever knocks you down in life, dude, you're fucking unstoppable, right? You're unstoppable in everything that you do. Because you can be the motherfucker who gets back up every single time, right? And I think it's very simple, dude. And I think that's the whole thing with like the whole spirituality, manifestation, creating your own reality, all this stuff. It's very simple. There's so many, and you get lost in all the different techniques of all the different things of what works and what doesn't work, but it's all very simple. And it's, becoming the person you want to be. But in terms of starting down that path or pushing yourself farther down that path with this video is what I'm talking about. Fear is a huge thing that you need to conquer. You need to slay the dragon, your inner dragon, the inner devil, the devil on your shoulder that's telling you you can't do it. That's, telling you, giving you all these thoughts of why it wouldn't work. You have to slay those demons. You have to slay that thing inside of you and do it. And then just see what happens, dude. Because guess what? One day we're all gonna die. And I think this is another very interesting thing, dude. I forget where I read this, but it has to be 100% true. People, there's a study of people who were like on their deathbed, and they were just asked, like, what if you could go back? Like, what do you regret? And it was always like not taking a bigger chance on myself or not doing what I really wanted to do with my life. That's something that comes up time and time again in people on their deathbed. So I sit there and think, when I'm on my deathbed, when I'm gonna die in those last few minutes of life, am I going to look back and be proud of myself for the decisions that I make? And when I have that thought, I take the risk, dude. I do the thing that fucking scares me, and I grow as a person. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, and so many other people, you can go online, read all the stories, dude, but it doesn't matter until you do it yourself. It works out. Somehow it works out. Or you grow as a person, or something amazing comes from it, right? It's such an amazing thing. It really is, right? So I think I'm gonna share the thing. I got something very cool to share with you guys. But I think if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, sit there and reflect on yourself. What are the things that scare you? Huh? And look back at all the things in your life that you did do that did scare you, and how did you become? Tell me, dude. Write a comment or whatever. Like, how did you become as a person after that? Did it work? Did it not work? Did you grow as a person? Right? Sit there and reflect on these things. And then, fuck, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just lucky. No, dude. Go and take a risk and see what happens, right? Because that's how you grow as a person. So, guess what I just fucking did, dude, right? So, like I said, over, like, my whole business goal, dude, was to, like, make enough money to go and travel and just kind of do what I want. And now that's turned into, like, I just want to, like, help other people, too, dude. I want to, like, wake people up from the dream that we're living in and the idea that you can do anything. And that's what I'm doing with this YouTube channel, right? But the travel thing too, I love traveling, dude. It's a huge thing in my life that also has really helped me grow as a person. But dude, this scared this dude. I was good about to click the button, dude. This scared the shit out of me. Dude. I booked a one-way plane ticket to India, to Mumbai specifically, early next year. So I'm gonna be going on like a month-long trip by myself to India, and I'm super excited. It's gonna be very interesting. And guess what, dude? I'm a little bit scared. Why? Because again, dude, I'm putting my money on the line. I'm putting myself on the line, and I'm putting myself out there to grow as a person. So, dude, and that's just so cool, right? And again, I would not have this opportunity if I sat there and was complacent 4 or 5 years ago, dude. I'd be sitting there working a dumbass job, dude, that I don't even fucking care about. But no, now I'm going to do something with my life. Why? Because I did the thing that scared me time and time and time and time again. So how about that, dude? How about that? The fucking video's at the 20-minute mark now. I feel good, dude. I'm hyped to go just fucking do something. I'm gonna help to go even do more with my life, dude. Oh, how about that? Let me know what you think. I think I enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think. And besides that, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Stay present. Go take a risk. Go grow as a person and see what happens. Because, dude, life is just a big game. All the answers are within you.